I closed over $100,000 worth of deals this week, and in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I handle my sales calls so you can just copy me. Now, I know this says 30K. This is just the upfront cash collected. As of today, December 6th, I'm recording this, 90% of that 100K has already been collected. All right, so how I closed 100K in a month, like the actual how, right? First off, I apologize for my janky setup. I learned the best like in math, school, whatever it was, from an Asian with a whiteboard. So that's what I'm trying to replicate today. I sold that much. I sold $100,000 worth of deals because I sold something called high ticket. Now, you definitely heard of this before. Otherwise, you're like sleeping under a bridge or something, right? But a lot of people think it's like, how do I get into high ticket and how do I sell high ticket, right? And I'm going to address the first one. How do you get into high ticket? Here's the thing. You might, like on your current offer, you are probably already selling high ticket, okay? Or maybe you're not selling high ticket, but they already have high ticket. So on my current offer, we have different deal sizes, right? We'll have a low ticket offer, we'll have a mid ticket offer, and we'll have a high ticket offer, and we'll have a different closer for each one. So chances are, on your current offer, if you're not closing high ticket, you want to start, your offer already might offer something, okay? Now, if you haven't really done sales before, I would probably recommend you start with something not high ticket. And the reason is not because it's harder or anything. The reason is because it's a lot, like there's a lot more on the line, okay? It's one thing to not close somebody because you're bad at sales for $200. It's another thing to miss out on a sale of 18 grand. So just be aware of that. So I would probably start in just like a normal offer, okay? Now the next thing about high ticket sales, how do you sell high ticket sales, right? Do I have to do something differently? How should my approach be? What do I have to do to get into it, right? And here's the thing, high ticket sales is the exact same thing. How you sell is the exact same way you sell something normally, right? A low ticket or mid ticket, it's the actual exact same way. And how I actually realized this, right, is I was selling low ticket for a really long time, the normal way, right? Of being super salesy and just pitching and all like that general, I think it was like, I don't know if I was doing NEPQ or some sales framework thing, right? And I was doing really well. I was doing amazing actually, right? And my offer owner saw that I was doing well and he wanted to give me an opportunity. I'd been asking him actually for an opportunity constantly to try something more expensive so I can make more money, right? And he basically, like one day, there was a high ticket lead for $18,000 that nobody could close. And he said, try to close them. If you can close them, I'm gonna start like giving all the high ticket to you, right? I don't think he expected me to actually close them. But I realized from this call that the way you do high ticket sales is the same way you do any kind of sales. And this high ticket way of doing sales, like the first high ticket call that I actually closed, it changed my outlook on how you do sales. And because of that one call, that's how I do all my sales today. And that's how I realized that low ticket, high ticket, mid ticket, it's all the same shit, okay? So also one note, if you are not doing well in sales, or maybe you're selling high ticket, you're not doing well, the reason is not because it's high ticket. The reason is because you just are not good at sales yet, okay? So basically, like back to the example, the guy I sold, I was given context. They told me that he was a guy who had the money, he's competent, but the problem is, number one, he hated to be sold to. He hated that feeling, right? And number two, he didn't really see the value in the program, okay? So knowing this is like perfect opportunity. I know he has the money. I don't have to do any qualification. I just have to sell him. And me being not super experienced at the time, all I heard was, he doesn't like being sold to. So my thought process going into the call was just, all right, I gotta be as least salesy as possible, right? So I was thinking, if sales is just super scammy, everyone hates it because the guy is just trying to get a big commission check, the opposite of that should just be to help people, because people who like to help people don't expect anything in return, and their advice is completely objective and people just trust them. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna approach this call where I'm just gonna help this dude, right? And basically this entire call, this is exactly how I did it. I just gave him advice in terms of how he could scale his business, and at the end, he was asking me, okay, so how do I implement this advice? And naturally, the program was the right fit. Now, in order to do this, you obviously have to know your industry, right? A lot of you closers out there, you guys are closing deals and you don't know shit about the industry you're in. This is a big problem. I was able to do sales this way because I actually understand what I'm selling. Okay, I basically did a shit ton of research. So basically, going back to the example, I was talking to this guy, I gave him advice, and at the end, right, I told him, you should do this, this, and this. This makes sense. What do you think? He's like, no, amazing. That actually makes perfect sense. Oh my God, like thank you, right? But he was like, so how do I do this? Do you have a guide? Do you have like a contact? Like how can I specifically do this, right? And this is all I said. I said, I'm in this program. This is how I did it. Why aren't you in this already, man? I don't understand. And basically, he was like, you're right. I don't know why I'm not in this program. It basically got him to realize it. And you have to realize, this way of doing sales is completely different because normally on a normal sales call, how are you pitching the guy? It's like, yeah, man, this program is gonna get you this result and you're gonna make so much money, man. Like that super salesy pitch, I did the opposite of that. I basically did my pitch in the discovery where I just gave him advice and understood his situation. That's how I gave him the advice. And at the end, I just asked him like, why are you not doing this already? And because I did it like that, I didn't have to deal with any of the bullshit that usually happens at the end. I have to think about it. I'm not sure about this because he trusted me, right? And of course, like he trusted me because I actually know what I'm talking about. And basically, I just position myself differently, right? If you think about it with this example, instead of just like me giving him clothes that were too tight and forcing them to fit on him, I tailored the clothes so that they fit perfectly to him. Right? If you think about sales, this is how you guys probably do sales. You guys have a freaking product and you're just trying to force it to fit the prospect. Like, this would be great for you because this is also why you guys get stuck on your sales calls. A lot of you guys will have your calls and you'll get stuck. You won't know what to say. It's because you're trying to force the actual product to fit your customer when in reality, you should be the one that's tailoring it to them. And you should be teaching them about what's right and what's wrong and you should give them some genuine advice. And because that's how I realized that you should sell through helping. So number 2, I'm gonna write here, oh shit, I forgot to write the first thing. First thing is same as regular sales, right? High ticket is the same as regular. The next one is sell to help, okay? Position yourself this way. And you probably heard this before, and maybe you tried to do it to some extent, but I guarantee you, you didn't do it, like you didn't really actually try to help them, okay? Because if you were actually trying to help them, what you'll notice is you're willing to give up sales sometimes. Sometimes I take this frame so seriously that I'm willing to give up a sale if I feel like it's not going to actually help the prospect. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually not. It helps me play into my frame of helping them. I believe that I'm actually trying to help them. I just get so more passionate about every sales call that I have, So I would keep this frame for sure. Okay. And for all my sales guys out there, my sales girls, or my potential salespeople, you guys really gotta try, okay? And the reason, and I say that, it's like, no shit, but hear me out. Sales, in my opinion, is the most simple thing to get better at. It might not be the most easy, but it's the most simple. And the reason for it is, every single sales call is an opportunity to get better. If you think about a normal business, any normal business, right? You being in that business, like maybe you opened a bakery, right? You opening that bakery is your shot at making the business work. Right? You have to make it work in order to make that bakery work. With sales, every call is a new opportunity to make it work. You get to improve on every single call as opposed to having a freaking bakery where you have to open a new bakery to actually show what you've learned, right? You have to start over again. With sales call, you have a sales call, maybe you fucked up and you just start over again on a new sales call, right? But the problem that a lot of you guys get wrong is that you guys don't try hard enough, right? You guys will have a sales call and it won't close. You'll just be heated. I fuck this shit. And like, okay, I'm gonna get myself back up. And you hop on another sales call and you might have gone past the fear of rejection, but you didn't get any better in terms of like why you didn't close the previous call. So it's very important. Great, you can handle rejection, but you also need to realize it's like, what are you doing differently this time? And this is where a lot of salespeople just get lazy. It's like you guys don't think about what you got to do differently. I personally had so many fucking sales calls, and the reason I was able to actually develop very fast is because every single one, I would just try something new. Okay? I would literally think to myself, what went wrong with the sales call? What can I do better? And I would just try it on the exact next sales call. And if you think about it, if I tried something differently on every single one of my sales calls consecutively, right? I'm getting better on each one. On every single sales call, the consecutive one, I'm figuring out, did the thing that I came up with in terms of how to get better actually work or it didn't work, right? And if it didn't work, I would just try something different until it does work, right? And this is just how I was able to develop. And I know that you guys aren't doing this. And in addition to this, I know for a fact, right? You cannot look me in the eye and tell me that you're doing enough role plays, okay? I have a lot, and I just know from my clients, a lot of you guys will do 2 role plays, like 3 at best. But if you think about any other thing, right? Any other thing that you want to get good at. Maybe you play basketball, maybe you play football, right? If you fucking go to basketball practice for an hour every single day, do you think you're going to become like Michael Jordan? The answer is obviously not. You taking 3 role plays a day is not going to make you some Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort closer. It's something that you fucking hack at, right? If you look at all the best, for example, athletes, right? How much do they practice? Kobe got 3 workouts in a day, right? You're telling me you're doing 3 role plays in a day and you think that's good enough? Absolutely not. You need to drill them in over and over again, and your sales calls are just an opportunity for you to kind of practice. That's all it is. You should be working on this the whole entire day if you expect to make a full-time income from this. Okay, and that's why I told you that you should sell to help, right? But this is just the frame. This is not the end-all be-all, right? You have the frame now. There's a bunch of things within the frame that you need to perfect, right? You might be saying this, like this example, really weirdly. You have to fix that. You might be handling the think about it objection at the end really weirdly, and you have to fix that. There's so many different things that you have to actually fix. It's not just having the frame, and you watching this video also isn't going to change anything. I hope you realize this. Maybe you're motivated right now. Maybe you're like, oh shit, I'm going to do this now. It doesn't matter. The reality is, the only thing that matters is you doing the work. Whether you fucking watch this video or you look at this whiteboard, it doesn't matter. The next YouTube video is not going to make a difference. It's the reps. Okay, there's a number right over your head right now that is the number of sales calls that you have to practice and role play in until you get good. Until you get that number down, YouTube videos don't do shit. Okay, so make sure you do that. It's so important, and that's also why it's really important to. And this is like something I wish that in the beginning I had someone to tell me what I could have done. Because again, I literally had a sales call, I would think about what I did wrong, and then I would move on to the next sales call. Sometimes that thinking process would take me up to an hour or 2 hours to actually figure out. Okay? So had I not had to do that, had I not had to come up with my own reason in terms of what I could have done better, I would be exponentially better than I am right now. Okay, so this is an opportunity for you, okay, because what I offer to save you time in exchange for the coaching, right? So I can literally just give you the exact objection. And when you have a sales call, I will basically just point out what you did wrong, I'll tell you what you should have done instead, and then we'll practice until you get good at that, okay? So if this actually sounds interesting to you and you know you're not gonna BS and you're actually gonna put in the work, send her for a call below and we'll see if it's a good fit to start working together. And one more thing, you guys gotta stop. Okay, and one more thing before I let you guys go. You guys gotta make sure you stop focusing on the numbers so much, all right? Like, I noticed a lot of salespeople, you guys obsess over your KPIs. I'll tell you guys this, I didn't even know what my close percentage was for the past 4 or 5 months until I actually calculated, because I had to calculate it for a video, you know? And I think a part of the reason why I was able to get so decent is because I didn't care about whether my close percentage was this or this. All I cared was, do I think I'm doing good or bad? And if I'm not doing good enough, I just need to focus on this specific thing to make me better, okay? And when you focus on and you obsess over all these little numbers, you become paranoid. You know, you start comparing yourself to others. And this is the worst thing ever. You cannot compare yourself to other people in sales. It's just gonna make you jealous, you're gonna feel egotistical, and it's just gonna hurt your sales performance, even if you're doing better than other people. And I notice this with myself as well. Whenever there's another closer that's doing well on our offer, like I won't be very happy. Even though I'm doing better, I still won't be happy. And it affects my performance, you know? So what I've just started to do is I don't care. I don't look at my other competitors. I don't look at the other closers. I don't even look at my numbers, right? But I know deep down when I could be doing better. And you know this as well. So start treating it as good or bad. Am I doing good or am I doing bad? As opposed to what is my specific close rate and how many deals did I close yesterday? It doesn't matter.